Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond, broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Have you ever wondered about what happens in a martial arts studio? Well, you start right away by setting goals, building determination, gaining focus, building skills, all while becoming more fit, gaining confidence, and learning self-defense. Huitorn Academy is a school where attitude meets aptitude. So give us a call at 956-401-4868. Back at you in Gloves Off. I'm here with a great guest, a young lady that has the spirit of a warrior. She's been doing martial arts for a very, very long time. Pauline Seremetis, and she's from the East Coast. And we're going to touch base on martial arts in general and why women should do martial arts, especially young ladies. How are we doing today? You doing good?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me again on your podcast, sir.
No, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. We've seen you win more championships. You're getting up there, and God bless you and keep up the good work. But let's touch base on one. Let's touch base on what brought you into the martial arts, and how you can tell other young ladies the need of self-defense in their life.
Yes. So really what got me into the martial arts is just the drive and the determination that I had. So I was inspired by, I had first started in Taekwondo. That was my first style of karate. And then I transitioned into American Kempo, the Ed Parker style. I train currently under Master Steve Arsenal now. He's a Larry Tatum black belt. And really what I tell younger girls, other younger children, just to really, especially in Kempo, to protect yourself. So in Kempo, it's really, it's a really great art where you can learn various self-defense techniques. So, for example, 5 swords, that's a really good technique in terms of, protecting yourself against the body, different body shots. But there are a lot of different techniques in Kempo that will help, women in general, whether it's, even if you have to defend yourself. So in a real life situation, I do encourage, all arts are amazing. They all have their unique differences, but really Kempo is what kind of brought me into it. I started in Taekwondo, but the American Kempo system is what really wanted me to, continue forward and just to push, because it really has a lot of techniques that are really protective, for survival and street combat.
I couldn't agree with you most. I studied Parker Kempo as well as Gajo Kempo under Keith C., who was a Parker black belt first generation. And I met many of the greats. But what intrigued me was in Kempo was the ability to develop a responsiveness towards a self-defense crisis if it came upon you, for you to understand the reaction of your opponent or the attacker as you were defending yourself, which none other systems had. And I don't see it in others. You can probably get it in Savate or in boxing or Thai boxing, but it's an experience manual in them that you have to experience manually over time for you to understand the body reactions. And here in Kempo, you're taught the body reactions where no other martial art teaches that. And that to me is great, because you need to understand that in a self-defense situation. There's a lot of people out there that are great instructors, don't get me wrong, but have no reality sense of what happens. and so they'll imply something that's not going to occur in reality, never. And here it's kind of been trial and tested and so on and so forth. But as for women, why do you think American Kempo will be the art that you should pick?
Yeah, so I really, I really encourage people to choose American Kempo. It's really just what you touch based on the, learning the various clock principles. So learning, where you have to step, where you have to, position yourself towards your opponent, just like in sparring, you could be faced with really any direction. So you just need to make sure you move off that line quickly, change direction, and really just that clock principle is very important, in Kempo, and just, whether it's doing any self-defense, any self-defense technique, you need to, make sure that you're moving properly. And that principle, the clock principle that Mr. Parker designed is just really, really important. And I teach my students at the school, at Master Steve School. I just really emphasize the basics. The basics is the foundation, really. So, a lot of some of the kids, they start getting aggravated. Oh, why are we doing, you know, inward blocks and upward blocks and downward blocks? But really, the basics is the foundation. So I can't stress that enough to, any woman or any other people. If they're interested in Kempo, you really need to start with the basics. That's really where it starts. And if you don't have a good foundation of the basics, it's really no good. I mean, in any art, but especially in Kempo, the basics is your foundation to build yourself up and, and become a black belt and so forth. So.
Absolutely. A lot of people go into martial arts for many reasons. And some people look at a cultural aspect of a martial art and they'll follow the cultural aspect of it. Like, in other words, they'll do Shotokan karate, and all of a sudden they'll end up traveling up to Akijitsu, Aikido. They'll study some of the Japanese swords, and I understand that cultural aspect of the martial arts that a lot of people follow. There's a lot of arts that people follow it. Oh, I want to fight in the ring. They start off in point karate, then all of a sudden you'll see them in some kickboxing matches, and all of a sudden you see them in MMA, and all of a sudden now you see them professionally or professional kickboxing. I understand that goals as well. There's different avenues you can with martial arts. But for those that always, and I can never express it most, that are looking for a martial art for a self-defense sense of the thing, they might start off in Taekwondo, and then they might transfer over to Hapkido, then all of a sudden they'll bounce to Aikido. Eventually they're going to end up in Parker Kempo, or one of the, and that to me is a reason why I say Parker Kempo is a pinnacle of self-defense, and it's what it teaches you, and what you can do with it. It changes, and I agree with you. The basics have to be brought out into the open and trained over and over and over. I've been doing it since I was 17, and now I'm 54, so you can do the math. But it's something that as Grandmaster Parada used to say, a man that is good in his basics is a hard man to beat, and that is true. But nonetheless, you shouldn't be jumping around, from this art to that art, and never get any basics. Get a schooling underneath you, then you start cross training. There's nothing wrong with cross training, but get a school underneath you first. Get some basics, some understanding, then move forward. Sometimes this is the only martial art that's in the town that you live in, and that's the only one you can take. Take it, learn the basics, enjoy it, live with it, and then eventually you're going to find something else that you're going to offshoot to, if that's what you're looking for. Here's a question. How would you say to other women you need to take self-defense classes? This is why.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I did talk to a couple of students within the dojo, and the reason that some of them, we are getting more adult students at the school, currently. And the reason that a lot of some of these women have, really started, Kempo or self-defense classes are because they were attacked. So whether it's, on the street, it could be anything really, but I've talked to a variety of women, whether it's, I've talked to them on a tournament level too. So different tournaments I've gone to, they also tell me the reason why they started is because they were actually physically assaulted. So, it's really, it could be that reason, or it could be a reason that they really, they want to learn the art to protect themselves and to, if they ever have to use it in case of a street survival situation. But the main reason has been like physical abuse that I've, talked to women lately, especially a couple young girls. Like one girl that I talked to, she said that, she was bullied at school. So she, wanted to start karate because, she wanted to protect herself and her family. That's another reason as well. So.
Absolutely. And bullying is a problem. And bullying is something
Mhm.
that you're facing all over the place. And now you're facing it more in the workforce. A lot of people are
Mhm.
stepping up now that they weren't before. You should just see it in high school. It kind of ended and it kind of went into some of the local junior colleges. You'll see it here, you'll see it there. But now you're seeing a lot in the workforce. And you're seeing a
Mhm.
lot in girls doing it again to other girls as well, that mean girl syndrome. And it's now with social media, and I did a little episode on bullying. The four different types of bullying and the four different types of bullies, and it's very interesting to understand that there's four different types, not just one, and what you can do with each one and how to deal with them. And
Mhm.
more women out there, and I say young girls because the martial art, as you know, it kind of goes up. You'll see a lot of young girls up to about the age 12, and all of a sudden poof, they die out from age,
Mhm.
I'll say 12 to about 20. It drops the numbers, then it kind of just goes every school for every five to eight men, depending on the martial art, you have one girl. But and people need to understand that occurs. And there's a drop in the teenage years of girls participating in the martial art program. And I think we have to, like women like you that are leaders in the martial arts, because you all have to start gaining the girls and bringing them back in, helping others how to bring them in, to attract them. And
Mhm.
not for the essence of keeping schools open, for the essence of them learning how to protect themselves and continuing in the art.
Yes, I totally agree. And I've actually, there was one girl that I, spoke to, she's a young girl at at the school with the dojo. She was bullied at school, and I'm actually training her now to actually, spar in tournaments. So she's really gotten much faster. She's feeling more confident. And that's really what, I really inspire other, young girls to, lead in the footsteps of me, to be a champion and to just train hard. That's the moral of the story here. I really am for, I'm really there to support everyone. No one should be put down for anything. And this example at the school, she's become a real fighter now. She's become really strong, really confident, and I'm really really proud of her. And she's going to do well in the next couple of tournaments locally in Rhode Island. So really really proud, yeah, to see her progress. So.
That would be awesome. We'll like to maybe one day you can show us what you've done, because you have been a tremendous force for women, especially in the East Coast, because of that. Number one, thank you for continuing your work, and thank you for promoting Kempo, especially for women. And women out there that you're out there, you want to do martial arts, don't be afraid. You see, a lot of women, what I've seen is they come in and they'll stop because their boyfriend or their significant other tells them to stop. And you should do that. For more so, you should try it. Keep on doing it.
Mhm.
You all are a power in martial arts. You've always been, and it shouldn't stop. But tell us, what else do you have? Projects, tournaments coming up?
Yes, so I actually have a tournament the end of February. So the end of this month, I will be going to compete internationals. It's called it's a NASCAR tournament. It's in Ontario, California. So that's my next tournament, the end of February. And then looking into March and April, I have Ocean State Grand Nationals in Rhode Island in March, end of March into early April. And then in April, I will be going to the Quebec Open. It's going to be in Quebec, Canada. So looking forward to that, going out of the country again. And yeah, just continuing to train students. We have very, very proud. Master Steve and I are training. We have 15 students competing at the crane tournament in March. So little over 3 weeks, we have 15 students competing in weapons, forms, and sparring. So I'm really looking forward to coaching them and competing there as well, being there for all of them. But really tremendous things going on, and I'm truly really blessed. So that's what's coming up. So
Well, God bless you, and you will do the best and keep us abreast of what everything happens. Keep us, tell us exactly how it went, and more power to you, and Godspeed. Go get those trophies.
all righty, thank you, sir. Thank you for having me again. All righty, us.
And we'll see you soon. And
Right.
you all take care. And folks out there, remember, if you have a young sister, a daughter, niece, granddaughter, put them in the martial arts. Let them start it off. You know, a lot of people have the stereotype that it's for boys only. No, women can do it as well. You have a young lady in from Rhode Island that is tremendous force in the martial arts over there, especially for women. So once more, thank you for what you've done.
All righty, thank you, sir. All right, take care.
Peace.